Nah, I'm making this video because I'm so pissed off that Aaliyah got murdered because she didn't just die, she got murdered. She was an industry sacrifice. And I just woke up this morning and I seen a picture of her on the internet. And it just motivated me to go ahead and do this video. You know, I love Aaliyah. Everybody love Aaliyah. You know, this new generation probably ain't too much familiar with her. But even the newer generation know who she is. Um, Singer, actress, model, one of the most beautiful women that ever was born on the planet. And this narration that you're about to hear is by the late great Killuminati Queen, Rebecca Hollywood Scott. And I just want to say rest in peace. We love you and we miss you. You was a great and wonderful, fearless soldier and freeing the world and giving the people the truth. And we can't wait till the day of judgment to resurrect you. Now let's get into it. Trying to think, do I need to say anything else before I start this? I guess I'm gonna hit you with the standard. Show me love. Send donations to my Cash App. FB Lil Film. That's FBLILFILM. For better videos and support. Okay, let's get.
Aaliyah Dana Horton was a beautiful child, and as such, her parents introduced her to the world of show business early. Early on, she modeled and she took a knack to it. They also found out that she was able to sing, and so her beauty combined with her ability to sing made her a natural for the industry. Now, her parents were already connected to the industry. The mother, as I understand, was a background singer, and her uncle, Aaliyah's uncle, was married to Gladys Knight of Gladys Knight and the Pips, and he was a record label owner, and he was also a manager. Now, one of the interesting things about MK Ultra training is that it is usually more effective if one or two members or more members of the family are already in the entertainment business. Reason being is that, having been in the industry myself, you're groomed. You're groomed for this. This is why they have A&R departments, which are artists and repertoire. They groom the artists for the business. Aaliyah was a student in the dance program at a Detroit high school, but prior to that, she went through the Roman Catholic school system. And I can tell you that many entertainers, Madonna, Diddy, even Biggie, went through that Roman Catholic school system regimen. And it is a type of monarch training, MK Ultra training, in that they have strict adherence to their rules. And in my age, they even used to beat you if you didn't follow the rules. Now, as Aaliyah became more developed in her singing career, she was introduced to R. Kelly. The idea was that he was supposed to be some type of Svengali over her and be able to groom her even further for the business. But the truth behind that is that he was a handler. And this is where her sex kitten program was first installed and activated. Aaliyah was groomed from an early age. She met R. Kelly when she was 14. And you know, something interesting that I find in most of the pictures of her with R. Kelly, she looks very unhappy. She does not look like a carefree, happy teenage girl. However, R. Kelly did indeed do his job as a handler. In fact, the record "Age Ain't Nothing But a Number" is a whole tribute to pedophilia. And you know, people don't know this because they only go by what they can see and they can hear and what the media tells them. But when he was 27, he married Aaliyah using a falsified marriage certificate listing her as being 18 when in fact she was only 15. And he knew that. That's why he had it falsified. So if age is nothing but a number, why did he find the need to falsify her marriage certificate? This further established him in his handler capabilities because now he was married to her and he could pretty much do with her as he wished. And again, here you can see she looks miserable. And there were quite a few other women in entertainment who also married their handlers. I can tell you that Tommy Mottola, when he married Mariah, he was her handler. And, you know, these people will tell you that, oh, but I loved her. But you didn't, because there was an agenda, and that is what you did. You fulfilled your agenda. As the programming began to take effect, there were subtle changes that began to manifest in the appearance of Aaliyah. And these, you know, indeed are part of the sex kitten program, in that the person, either through abuse, whether it be sexual or psychological, they are groomed into this sex kitten. And, you know, they're trained. They're taught what to say publicly and how to present themselves. If you recall, Berry Gordy used to do that with the Supremes. Here we see Aaliyah in the traditional sex kitten gear, which is always some type of animal attire, but more interestingly, around her neck is a dog collar, and that shows control. While she was still a child, she hooked up with that Tommy Hilfiger, promoting his Tommy Still Can't Figure gear. And the fact of the matter is that Hilfiger long had demonic ties to the occult, and a lot of his gear was had occult significance, either on the actual clothing or in the ads, and especially in the moving ads. There was always some type of occultic message. And as you know, as the person is being groomed, a lot of you young wannabe starlets, you know, you say, oh, I dream of this, I dream of that. Be careful what you dream of, because those very same dreams can turn into nightmares. In a couple of Aaliyah's songs, there were positive messages, but here again, you can see the dog collar. So despite whatever she's singing about, the hidden messages are showing the elite that yes, she is a sex slave to be used and controlled. Now here she's playing with an eaglet. And the eagle, as you know, in the occult circles, it's also on the dollar bill, by the way, but it represents power and flight. And as time went on, there were more and more images of Aaliyah looking miserable and unhappy, because what happens is when you're under these MK Ultra programs, you are following, you're like an obeying slave. So you are following the script, but there is that soul inside of you that is dying to get out because it does not want to be controlled. We all want to be free. And this is what happens when the program finally breaks down. Here you can see her with DMX. They did a couple of movies together, but DMX was another MK Ultra slave. And it caused, when his programming went down, when it broke down, he went crazy. The same with Martin Lawrence. They found him shooting in the street, but the fact of the matter is the programming, it broke down because the handlers, when these people start to awaken from the program and the handlers are cast aside, there's a breakdown because the people begin to come back to themselves. And then they realize that they can smile and they can be happy and they can be free. And in some cases, they even want to be children again because the program has been in place since childhood, so they missed out on that. So they go back to wanting to be the fresh-faced children that they were originally intended to be. Now, there are many facets to the actual program, and I don't know it all, obviously, because I have not been privy to actually being present when someone is undergoing this. And I don't want to be privy to it. I don't want to see that. But here you can see with her dancing with Jackie Chan in a clip from the movie, not only is the mirror programming being used, but again, she's wearing that dog collar. And it's interesting to note that if this was a style that she chose, then you would have seen her in public wearing it. But she did not. She only wore it in the presentations of her videos. And so that right there speaks of control, because there are stylists and people who dress you for these things. And so, in fact, she was told that this is the look that she should wear for this particular video. And here you can see her with the brat. And there was also a lot of use of fire in her videos. And as you can see, the sexually seductive dancing that went on in the videos was all choreographed to fit her sex kitten image. Now, many of you know about the relationship that she had with Damon Dash. But what you may not know is that Damon was actually also a handler. The problem came when he really fell in love with her. But prior to Damon, what you may not know is that she was involved with Jay-Z. Jay-Z was initially going to be her handler. Jay-Z has been a handler for many women. And Rihanna being at the top of the list, and also Beyonce. Here she is sandwiched between two handlers, Diddy and Jay-Z. And what happened is that when he could not conform her to the program, she drifted away. She drifted into the hands of Dash. And you can find on the net and other places many pictures of her hugged up with Jay because she was looking for love and romance. And she didn't find it with him. She found control. And the other thing, too, that I know for a fact was that in the early days of the Rockefeller, the women were passed around like party favors. And for those of you who want more detail about this, go to my video, Beyonce and Jay-Z, and it talks about Aaliyah's connection even further in terms of her
of it as well.
Rock.
Okay, let's roll back a little bit to the time when Aaliyah was alive. A lot of people do not realize this, but there is a very serious connection here, and I'm going to get into it. Aaliyah, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. Well, Beyonce and Aaliyah were friends during the time when Aaliyah and Jay-Z were romantically involved. And that's them at a basketball game right there on the left. And there are many, many, many pictures of them together. So this is not something that you can make up. And having been in the industry, I can tell you personally that I witnessed them publicly being very, very romantic, and they were involved. So what happened with that? Well, this was before she hooked up with Damon Dash, by the way. Aaliyah is actually said to be the reason behind Jay and Dame's falling out. Beyonce befriended Aaliyah to get close to Jay. At the time, Beyonce was still with Destiny's Child, and they had just released their first album. Aaliyah died in 2001 during the filming of Queen of the Damned. Coincidence? Well, at the time of her death, she had just wrapped up her movie Queen of the Damned. She was engaged to marry Dame Dash. had a hit CD out, and was poised to star in the remaining Matrix films, which would have boosted her into the stratosphere of mainstream success. On her way back from shooting the video for Rock the Boat, the plane she was flying in crashed, and she died. Planes crash every day, right? Things aren't always what they seem. Could Jay have tried to get Aaliyah to join in his secret society, and did Aaliyah refuse? And did this society eliminate Beyonce's biggest competition, leaving Beyonce to take her place? Now, before you say I'm crazy, listen, because there is a direct connection between these two. Akasha versus Sasha. Right before her death, Aaliyah played the role of a demon called Akasha. Sound familiar? Well, Beyonce's Sasha is a take on the name Akasha. The fact that Aaliyah played such an evil part could give some insight on her sacrifice. Many Illuminati ultra slaves are forced to play parts in demonic movies and then sacrifice in the end. You will notice in a lot of Hollywood movies, a lot of these demonic Hollywood movies, the actors actually died. In The Crow, the star of that, Brandon Lee, he died tragically. The little girl from the Poltergeist, Heather O'Rourke, she also died after completing all 3 Poltergeist movies. Interesting. And other people from Poltergeist also passed, whether it was tragically or just through illness, but almost everyone connected to the Poltergeist movies died. So you can look that up on the internet. But getting back to topic, based on what an artist accomplishes, certain things were expected, and opportunity was evident in Aaliyah's case, partly by looking at the growing number of film roles she was offered in response to the surprising talent, professionalism, and maturity she gave to Romeo Must Die. Aaliyah was evolving, and she was gaining serious ground in music and film. Her talents, her potential, and the wisdom she had to know what to do with all of that was more than enough to lead us to the assumption that Aaliyah, where would she be today had she not been killed? And if you look at the photos on the right, not only did Beyonce take her name from Aaliyah, she also adapted the style. Here she is as Sasha, wearing the crown and the many necklaces around her neck, and you cannot see the rest of the picture, but she is practically naked in the picture, and above you can see Aaliyah in her role as Akasha in a very similar, almost frighteningly similar attire. So this is the demon possession at its full peak. Okay, kings, queens, and pawns. When the Illuminati references got too close to home, Jay-Z gave a public denial, and many of you brainwashed zombies accepted this denial as truth, refusing to believe that your beloved artist is connected to a satanic entity which was started by devil worshippers. Lest we forget what Jeremiah 5:26-27 says, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap so that they can catch men. As a cage is full of birds, their houses are full of deceit. Therefore they are great and waxen rich." I don't even know how to say that any better. That ends the quote, but I'm going to try to break this down to you. The enemy has set up his people in his kingdom here on earth to influence and to trap people. And when you're dealing with a demonic force at this level in the game, trust and believe that it's going to be very hard to see through it, because the enemy is a liar, but he is the father of lies. So when you're dealing with the father of lies, you're going to have to really dig deep to come to the truth. And as Rick Ross said in the song Freemason that he does with Jay-Z, that I played a little clip of it in the beginning, he clearly states, you're messing with rich folks. And he puts that out there because he wants you to know, are you ready? Can you bring it? So please believe this is not a game. But don't say that you were never warned, because even back in 2000, we were warned. As in the days of Noah, the Lord sent prophets to warn the people. And Emil, who was the first lady of Rockefeller and Jay-Z's former protege, she tried to warn us about Jay-Z in her song Quarrels from her 2000 album, All Money is Legal. And the verse goes like this, and she's making it crystal clear exactly who Jay-Z is and what we're dealing with. Yo, ever since I known you, you've been out to get me, acting like my peeps, but I know that's how you tricked me. Love to see me get high, you love to see me tipsy. Heard you even want to stick a little chip in me, introduce me to your clique, hate, envy, lust, and greed. Sold you want the world in your custody. Said you want the world in your custody. And if I give you my soul, you give me luxuries. Tell me, sell my people crack and get rich off fiends. You love the number 6, but you hate the number 13. It was always something about you that made my skin crawl. You turned me into a player and showed me how to ball. I see your eyes watching me on the dollar bills, like how you gonna rule the nations under one religion. You got this new world order. It's like a big prison. And I edited it somewhat just to keep it short and only give you the fine points of it. But here she is in this rhyme, way back, way before Beyonce.
And that's where my society come in at, the A-Star Utopia Society. And you can follow us at A-Star.Utopia Society on Instagram. To be a part of this nation, to be a part of this movement, just send us a follow, and we will message you with what we call an enrollment sheet. Fill out the enrollment sheet in its entirety, go to your local post office, and mail it to the given P.O. Box. I won't say the P.O. Box on this video on YouTube right here, right now. But once you send a follow and we inbox you, the P.O. Box will be given to the volunteer.